Nothing has really frightens me like when I came across this video. I know that Nigeria has been degenerating into something that we can barely comprehend. But I never thought that we've gotten this bad. Honestly, I never thought so. But when I heard what this person had to say, I was like, wow, wow, wow. You know, people can get angry, people can be disappointed, people can be depressed, but the level of wickedness or the level of neglect on the lives of other people couldn't get this low. I mean, I couldn't really understand why someone would decide to behave in such a manner. Now, listen, you might be angry with people. You might feel abandoned. You might feel being pushed out. But you have to ask yourself, the actions I'm taking, how do they benefit me? How do they make me a better person? And not just make me a far more worse person. Now, I know most of you guys will be wondering what I am talking about. Well, I came across this video on Facebook. It was like a podcast where one person who is HIV positive was sharing his experience, and he made mention of having slept with about 1,000 people. And to me, that was like a jaw drop. That was like, wow, wow, wow. 1,000, 1,000 people. That's like a lot, right? So, I will let you guys to watch the video, and I will let you guys draw your own conclusion after watching the video. But for me, I just think that we have got to have some sympathy for other people. That's just what I think. Because if we do not sympathize with other people, if we do not see other people as humans who deserve certain love and respect and protection, then what kind of society are we really building? So, watch the video to the end, hear what this guy had to say, and please don't forget to leave us your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And one more thing, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly do so. That helps us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So, watch the video.
A total number of ladies I've had sex with can be 1,000.
This HIV guy slept with over 1,000 girls without condom, and his reasons for doing that is so disturbing. In this video, he has opened up about everything that pushed him into sleeping with different girls, knowing he has HIV for a good 7 years. Watch the video to the end and share your thoughts on the comment section.
So, speaking about contracting the disease itself, at what point did you realize that, you actually have HIV?
Okay, so I got into photography, and then I was now working with a very renowned photography company in Nigeria, and then I was posted to Kano. And because I've always been very curious, I've always been into vision, so wherever I go to, I like to explore, right? So there in Kano, I started having sex with just anybody that I saw, because it was actually even cheap there and all of that. So I started having sex, and I was exposed to different people. And then when I spent 5 months in Kano, So when I left Kano and I came to Lagos, I was still Havex, The Obalinde area was like my home. That's where I was going to have, Unprotect. What I do is, most times it has to be protected, but I wasn't gaining pleasure from Protectex anymore. So I started, I was always proposing if I could pay more to, have Unprotected. And
how much were you paying these women that you were having with?
So then it was 700 naira.
700 naira to have sex with them?
Yes, and then 300 naira to rent the room, because it's always like a box.
So total of 1,000 naira?
Yeah, and then if I wanted to use... if I wanted to sex without condoms, without protection, what I do is offer to pay them more, and it's like 200 naira, or then buy them malt. So like
malt, like Maltina?
Like malt, yes. So that was how it was going on for like a long time.
At this time, did you know you had HIV then?
No, I started falling sick. I was like, having fever today, to go tomorrow I'll have diarrhea. I didn't really know what was going on. So it was one particular time, that I had a total breakdown, and I went to the hospital. I was admitted. When I came back, I was still looking pale, and the people from my workplace were like, this guy is looking very sick. How about you do a test? Because this is not how he used to look before. And you're really looking down, and you've been falling sick, often. So what's going on? So they told me, they gave me money to go and run the test. And when I went to the hospital and, I ran the test, they told me to come meet the counselor's office and all of that. I should go to the counselor's office and meet the counselor and talk. And then she started with, HIV is not a death sentence and all of that. And in my head, I was like, wait, am I going to finally have this? I didn't exactly have a problem having HIV.
You didn't have a problem having HIV?
I did have a problem with it, because I don't know, one thing about lie is when you always lie, you program your mind to fit into that position. So I think in my mind, I've always been HIV positive in my mind, because then when I was telling all those stories, claiming that I didn't even have a house to stay, I needed to play the part. So I was deliberately not even cleaning up myself. I would be like 2 months, I would not even take my bath.
Because you wanted to look dirty,
because
you wanted to look the part.
Dirty, deliberately dirty. And at that particular point, I was forming habits in me that it wasn't going to be easy to let go. So that period, when I heard about the HIV thingy, I wasn't exactly upset, to be honest. I was just like, oh, finally, right?
Oh, wow.
When I started feeling upset was when I started, experiencing stigmatization, and it started that same day. So when I went to them, because I never really used to pay attention to how people treated me when I was lying, I never really saw stigmatization. Like, I didn't notice it because I was not really in the position. So, but when I went to the back to the office and I told them what happened, I told them around 10 a.m., around 4 p.m. that same day, they asked me to leave the premises.
Because they knew you had HIV?
Yes. They asked me to leave the premises. I got fired. They were like, they just need a time that they want to do innovation and all of that. All of a sudden, they want to do innovation. Nobody told me about that before. So when I noticed that, I was like, wait, is this really happening? So because of this, they are telling me to leave. But I thought when I used to say it in churches, they liked me and they wanted me closer. So I said, feeling different. That's why I said feeling different. Now, the company had to tell the person who introduced me to them that, this your guy have HIV now, and all of that. That one had to introduce me to the person who introduced me to him, that this one has HIV. Before you know, everybody started like, oh, he has HIV, he has HIV. I started getting WhatsApp messages, and then I started, understanding the place I had brought myself.
What kind of WhatsApp messages? Like just checking on you, or being rude, or
no, like, Oga, you don't get HIV finally. Oga, you go soon die, that kind of thing. So I was getting different stuff, and I couldn't take it. And it brought me to a realization that whatever you're wishing for yourself, hope when it happens you can take it. Because I was just telling different lies, and then when it happened, I couldn't even take it. Like, I couldn't stand a day So I attempted it, and then it was carried by all the blogs and all of that, So, so from there on, life changed.
Okay, so after you got this diagnosis, you said you couldn't take the way people were treating you and everything. Did you continue having, because you mentioned that you were living a promiscuous lifestyle before. So now you knew that you had HIV. Did you continue to people?
Yes,
after?
I actually continued. I think, I don't know how to put my state of mind then, but I actually started, I continued having sex with different people. And most times, because I originally do not enjoy with protection, I wanted to enjoy it more, so I wasn't using protection. One thing with depression is whatever you like to do, right? Whatever you like to do, you do more of it.
When you're depressed.
Like whatever you like to do, you do more of it. So if you smoke, you smoke more. If you drink, you drink more. So if you have sex without protection, you have without protection. So it's not a way of justifying myself, because I know I put a lot of people at risk. And you see, that is why I'm out here, because I want to create the awareness, and I want to be able to let them know that there are many chika out
like
there.
You.
So they have to be very, very careful.
There was no point at the time when you were having with these people unprotected that you felt like you felt bad. There was no point your conscience felt like, these people have family members, these people have, you never felt that way at any point.
Again, not an excuse, but when you're depressed, it kills your conscience. All you just want is your self-satisfaction. Depression doesn't make you see what you are doing to other people. It just helps you, it just stick into your mind, what can you get? If it is pleasure, just get your pleasure. Do you understand? So it never really make you see what other people can go through.
So you felt like you were in such a dark hole that you were just looking for a way to make yourself feel better.
Yes.
You weren't concerned about another person or how this might be affecting them or anything. And how long did this lifestyle go on for, knowing after you had HIV?
For 7 years.
7 years you were unprotected.
Yeah, 7
Can you give us maybe if you had to count how many people with during this period? Can you count? Can you give a number?
If I'm going to say how many ladies I've had with since I started having sex.
No, since you found out that you had HIV.
I think a total number of ladies I've had with can be 1,000, to be honest. But in that 7 years period, I could say maybe more than 400. Because I said very, very early, right? And for any money I had then, because it was so cheap, I used to just have, with just anybody. There was a time I went to Obalende, and I saw all the girls that was there. All of them knew me, and I was with all of them. So if I'm seeing you for the first time, it is because you're new. So it was like a very constant attitude. And when I went back to Abuja, it was still the same thing. And when I started paying, right, it was now like necessary for those girls, because most of them wanted deals from me, right, being a pimp. So they didn't mind having me, so I could always give them clients.
In general, you think it's about 1,000 girls. Do you know how many 1,000 girls is? That's over 900 people. Yeah. And if we're really looking at it, you found out you had HIV while you were working there, but you could have had HIV longer than, 7 years. It was that's just when you found out.
Yes, I was diagnosed with HIV. That I was told I have HIV just 7 years ago.
Just 7 years ago. So there's a possibility that you might have had it for 9 years.
Yes.
So there's a possibility that you might have slept with at least, let's say, 500 girls unprotected while having HIV. Have you ever gone back to Obalende to check on these girls, to just see how they're faring, or is that something you intend to do at any point? Or are you worried about, if I tell them now, are they going to arrest me? How are they going to, take it?
Okay, so before I came out and started saying all of these things, I knew that there could be consequences.